What's up guys, MissPass here, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes commentary video, and today I'm actually going to do a little bit of commentary on what characters there are in the game that you can be farming right now in preparation for the raid that could literally fall on us at any moment. Right now they're still doing some play testing with the raid, making sure that it's balanced, making sure that, there aren't going to be any huge bugs when it comes out. Honestly, I'm okay with waiting as long as it is squared away when it comes out, because I'd rather get a raid that is pristine, polished, and in great condition than have it come out and be unplayable. That's generally just going to make a lot of people mad. You'll notice in the background I've got a Galactic War playthrough going on, and I'm just kind of going through each of my characters, showing what their status is as far as gear goes. This video was recorded about a week and a half ago, and I'm finally getting this commentary all put together, so it is a very quick Galactic War playthrough. This was a start to finish, no cuts, no edits, just a straight playthrough of all 12 nodes, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, going back to my discussion on the raids, I know everybody is still working on the RANCOR raid, really waiting for that AAT tank raid. First thing I want to talk about are all the characters that I currently use and that my guild allies use in the RANCOR raid. I know that everybody is at different levels on where they are with their particular character roster progress, and not everybody is going to have a full roster of 25 7-star characters that they can whip out and just use in any combination, or have unlimited resources to promote, level up, and gear up every character that they can, or every character that they want to. So obviously the first priority of any user should be to try and get their arena squad to a point where they can maintain their rank in the arenas. The reason for this is generally you want to have as many resources as you can in the game, and getting a higher rank in the arenas will obviously help to that end. Also, most arena squads are at least very useful and very potent in Phase 2 or Phase 3 of the RANCOR raid during the door down phase, and you can easily knock out usually a few 100,000 damage depending on your raid difficulty in those phases with your arena squad. After you've developed a strong arena squad, your next priority should be developing a strong raid squad. If you're using characters like Rey, Qui-gon Jinn, or Captain Phasma in your arena squad, then you can easily put together a very good Phase 2, Phase 3 squad without many more characters needing to be further developed. Talking about Phase 2 and Phase 3 DPS squads specifically, some good DPS options are going to be Resistance Trooper, Resistance Pilot, Geonosian Soldier, IG-86, and Grandmaster Yoda. Resistance Trooper is a little bit more difficult to farm, as his shards are primarily found from the guild store. However, he is a very high damage DPS who has a chance to expose his targets, which, yes, the RANCOR can be exposed. He also gains a very large amount of turn meter whenever a target is exposed, so you have that going for you. Resistance Pilot is much easier to farm. Her shards are found in the Galactic War store, and she has turn meter gain, foresight, and expose built into her toolset. She gains turn meter from her basic ability whenever she crits and whenever she evades. Her special ability has a chance to expose the target, which means if you have the Resistance Trooper also in your lineup, you're going to give Resistance Trooper some extra turn meter with that ability. Also, she has a very good chance to grant herself foresight with her special ability, which guarantees that the next time she is targeted, she will gain turn meter. Her basic ability has a built-in turn meter gain possibility, and then also if she crits, she gains turn meter, so crits on both abilities will grant her turn meter up. Geonosian Soldier is actually very easy to farm. If you dedicate yourself to farming him in the Cantina battles, then you can generally get him farmed from nothing to 7 stars within a month, because his node only requires 8 Cantina energy, which is very efficient for farming him. His gear is relatively easy to get, and he can get to gear 9 without raid exclusive gear. You can actually farm his gear to gear 9. His special attack when Omega'd is a 1-turn cooldown essentially, so you'll be able to use it every other turn. It calls assist, and his unique ability gives him 50% turn meter gain on crits. So used in Phase 2, Phase 3, when the door is down, he's going twice as fast as he normally would. IG-86 is another good DPS who's found in the Galactic War Store. His unique ability grants him increased critical damage, which is useful. His special attack, just like Geonosian Soldier, when Omega'd is a 1-turn cooldown, you'll use it every other turn. Also, his basic attack is almost guaranteed crit every turn, so putting crit damage mods on him is extremely useful. Grandmaster Yoda is probably the most difficult DPS to farm on this list because he requires 5 7-star Jedi to unlock him, and he's only available for unlock at random times throughout the month. So getting Yoda is a little bit more involved of a task, but I guarantee he is a very useful asset for Phase 2, Phase 3 of the RANCOR raid. The strategy behind Yoda is using his basic ability and battle meditation to increase the survivability of your entire squad. His basic ability grants him self turn meter and foresight whenever the enemy is over 50% health, so you definitely want to use Yoda when the Rancor is over 50% health in each phase, Phase 2 and Phase 3. And then you also want to be able to time his battle meditation appropriately so that you're using battle meditation right before a Rancor slam. Those are really just a few of the good DPS characters that I've seen used and that I personally have used in the Rancor Phase 2 and 3. Of course, my list is not all inclusive. There are plenty of other good, strong DPS characters that you can use in the Rancor. This is not meant to be an exclusive list. For example, Princess Leia is another good DPS option available to you. However, I found her to be very unreliable because her basic attack hinges so heavily on getting crits and also getting those bonus attacks. If she's not getting crits or bonus attacks, her basic attack is almost like a wet noodle, so I don't really recommend getting Leia unless she is the only other DPS that you have, in which case definitely Omega her basic so that she at least has a chance to gain extra turn meter on her basic attacks. If you use droids and Jawas in your arena squad, you're not in trouble. My second account is a droid Jawa arena squad, and I actually use my droids for Phase 2 and Phase 3 attacks. You obviously want to attack in the second half of the Rancor's health, because when the Rancor is under 50% health, when the door goes down, your squad also gains a 25% boost to your speed, so you're going to get extra turns. My Phase 2, Phase 3 droid Rancor squad usually comprises HK-47 as the lead, obviously for the turn meter gain on critical strikes, IG-88, IG-86, and then I also toss in Geonosian Soldier because he also gains 50% turn meter whenever he crits. And then I also will throw in a random DPS or some other character to fill that 5th spot. Sometimes I'll throw in IG-100 because he does have the offense down built into his basic attack, which helps with survivability when the Rancor is attacking. And then other times I'll throw in Rey or Leia or whatever I feel like throwing in. And usually I'll even just put that squad on auto after I've got the door down. And sometimes I'll end up with 300 to 400, sometimes almost 450,000 damage from just using that squad on auto on Phase 2, Phase 3. So that's always useful. Phase 1 is a little bit more strategic. Teebo is usually utilized as a leader in Phase 1 for his ability to strip turn meter while stealth, and also granting allies a chance to gain stealth on their turns. The reason that this is so useful is because stealth will actually hide a character with death mark from the captain and his guards. In addition to Teebo, many Phase 1 squads will utilize either Fives or Captain Phasma to try and put speed down on the targets, especially the captain. Qui-gon Jinn for his additional turn meter stripping capabilities through his basic attack. And then also, many teams will use another character like Geonosian Soldier who can call an assist, giving you essentially a 50% chance to call either Teebo or Qui-Gon Jinn for an additional chance or opportunity to strip turn meter from the captain. Many players then round out their squad with Ewok Elder because his basic attack has a chance to grant Ewoks, Teebo, extra turn meter in addition to granting the entire squad turn meter. Now that squad composition of Teebo, Geonosian Soldier, Phasma, or Fives, Ewok Elder, and Qui-Gon Jinn is essentially a free-to-play squad for Phase 1. If you happen to be a pay-to-play player, you are obviously going to probably have Rex on your Phase 1 squad. If you don't have Rex, Ewok Elder, or another one of those characters that I mentioned, hopefully you have Phasma because Phasma is very easy to farm. I don't have Fives or Ewok Elder at 7 stars. So my Phase 1 team is actually Teebo, Qui-Gon Jinn, Geonosian Soldier, Phasma, and I have actually been experimenting with a 5th character. I have tried Hoth Rebel Scout because he is a fast character who has the capability of adding turn meter to all of his allies. And then I've also experimented with IG-86 to get a 3rd assist character in the lineup, and then I'm actually planning on using Dengar on our raid this evening because of his ability to add tenacity down through his Mini-Mine Mayhem ability, and then also his 2nd special ability has the chance to add speed down. With the Hoth Rebel Scout in my lineup, I was able to do between 1 and 1.5 million damage on Phase 1 with 1 attack, and I'm hoping Dengar can get me a little bit further. But really, it hinges a lot on good RNG. You have to get your Teebo to stay in stealth, which is always a task. And then you also have to worry about Qui-Gon Jinn actually landing turn meter down with his basic attack. And as I've learned from experimenting or practicing with Phase 1, luck is probably one of the most important things in this game. What I've also noticed is that when using Dengar's Mini-Mine Mayhem, if you are able to guarantee a crit, so having Phasma in my lineup helps with that considerably, landing tenacity down doesn't guarantee that all of your turn meter reduction abilities will stick. There is still a chance of getting resisted. I actually had my Qui-Gon Jinn, who has a 99.6% potency, get resisted by the captain with tenacity down, which was absolutely mind-boggling. Moving on to the new raid, obviously, none of us knows for sure what the most important characters will be in the next raid. What we do know is that at least one of the phases in the raid will be comprised of droids. I know a lot of people are going out and farming Jawas in anticipation of this. I know that I'm actually working on Dacia and Jawa. The reason being is that those are the 2 Jawas who are specifically anti-droid. And then I've also farmed Emagundi. I already had Eoth Koth farmed to 7 stars because he was one of my Jedi that I used to unlock Yoda. And then some players are actually going out and farming Ugnaught. Jawa and Dacia specifically, their special attacks are most advantageous against droids as both have the ability to stun droids. Next in the lineup, you definitely want to farm Emagundi if you have the opportunity to. His shards are found in some hard mode battles, a Cantina battle, and in the guild store. I found that the most efficient place to farm him was the guild store because I was getting absolutely horrendous drop rates from his Cantina battle. One of the reasons for farming Emagundi is his basic attack deals 100% more damage and has a 100% chance to inflict defense down to droids. Eoth Koth has a similar effect against droids. His basic attack also has a 100% chance to inflict defense down on droids. His special attack also has a stun effect and a 100% chance to inflict ability block for 3 turns if the target is a droid. In addition to all of that, his unique ability grants him an extra percent to crit and extra critical damage when attacking droids. So Koth may be useful in the next raid for attacking droids. In addition to those characters, you've got Ugnaught, the one character that everybody thought would be absolutely useless. Ugnaught may end up being the shining star and hero of the droid-packed phase of the upcoming raid. His unique ability grants him 9% evasion for each droid enemy, which could end up being a very large amount of evasion if there are as many droids on the enemy squad as the trailers would lead us to believe. In addition to his bonus evasion, his special attack also grants him a chance to stun droids for 1 turn. If you're using Jawa, Dacha, and Ugnaught, you will definitely be able to control all of those extra droids in that phase of the upcoming raid. And then, if that wasn't enough for you, his basic attack, similar to Imagundi, does 100% more damage and inflicts defense down to droids. If you don't want to farm any of those characters, you can always go with the alternative strategy and just farm an all-out AoE attack squad. Wedge, Lando Calrissian, IG-88, and Jedi Knight Anakin are some of the highest DPS characters in the game, and the best part about them all is they're all free to play. So I can't say whether that kind of a squad composition would be good in the upcoming raid, but I don't see why a large AoE team wouldn't be something that you could actually feasibly use to do good damage, especially when you take into account the fact that all of those characters have strong single target damage as well. The biggest downside to those characters is they all require a very large quantity of raid gear. Stun cuffs especially. Jedi Knight Anakin requires 1 set of stun cuffs to get to gear 9, and then 2 more at gear 9 to get to gear 10. Lando Calrissian requires some stun cuffs at gear 9 to get to gear 10. Wedge requires 2 sets of stun cuffs to get to gear 9, and then more to get to gear 10. So you're looking at a very large quantity of specifically stun cuffs, but also other pieces of raid gear. One other character of note that is extremely useful in the current RANCOR raid, but will not be worth much in the upcoming raid, is going to be Tebow. That's one thing that we all know, is that some of the raid bosses are going to be resistant specifically to turn meter reduction. Another character that won't really have that much of an effect is probably going to be Emperor Palpatine. Unless there is a phase to the upcoming raid similar to phase 2 of the current RANCOR raid, where for example, the RANCOR has more armor without any negative status effects, there won't be much use for his shock debuff. One of the biggest aspects of his shock debuff is the turn meter gain blocking. It's already pretty evident that they don't intend for us to be able to block the turn meter gain from any of the raid bosses. That about does it for my character farming advice for the new raid and the current raid. If you ask me who I'm farming, I'm actually farming Wedge right now. That is my biggest target. I'm actually spending 200 crystals a day on extra Cantina energy because he is wicked awesome, and I'd really love to have him for my AoE squad and then also for my Rebel squad. He makes a great Rebel leader. Hopefully I'll be doing a review on him soon, but I still got to get him up to 7 stars. So look forward to that. I'm actually doing a Lando roster review here, and that video should be going live this week. And I'm actually farming Jawa and Dacha, so those guys still have quite a ways to go. Ugnaught is nowhere on my radar. I've got other guildies who are farming him, gearing him up, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys whether he's actually worth something or not. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I will catch y'all later.